Morning, everybody. My name is Corey Cortez with Fiscal CMO. Welcome to today's pre-go live town hall for the October 2019 release. Tuesday is our go live, so we've got some new functionality rolling out related to bank statements and the SCO offsets. So let's get started with some of the upcoming functionality related to bank statements and reconciliation. For Tuesday, there's going to be a change around the bank statements that are available in Fiscal. So right now, departments get their bank statements from CTTS. That's not going to change, but the same bank statement should be available on demand in Fiscal based on paid items from STO and Fiscal transactions directly. So as your departments will now be able to see all of the transactions that impact your bank statement with the balances that are available in CTTS. So that should be helpful. Now, I wanted to mention that even though there's this new functionality in Fiscal that'll be available around October 1st for you, it doesn't mean that there's a change in your business process at this time. So as of October 1st, the bank statements will include all the transactions that impact your bank statement, but by October 7th, the bank statements will be updated with SCO ending balances for September 30th bank statement. What that really means is that there's going to be a true up from SCO balances and Fiscal balances. So that'll be good because it'll make the Fiscal balances more accurate. For now, departments will continue using the bank statements from CTTS to complete any SAM compliant reconciliation between Fiscal and CTTS. There's no change there. And the current CTTS will still remain the book of record for your bank statement. Now that said, the goal is to make the Fiscal bank statement match the CTTS bank statement. For the most part, it will. We do know of some discrepancies in the areas of item processing, or for punishments, and AR payments, in legacy known as remittances. So for item processing check adjustments, there may be a 1-day delay from when Fiscal recognizes it to when CTTS recognizes it. So there might be a 1-day delay there. And then or for punishments, if we've broken this down into kind of 3 different categories. The first one is if you do not have if the orphan punishment is not a partial pay voucher, there may be a timing difference of 1 day, similar to the item processing check and check adjustments. If there is a partial pay voucher, that could be a few days. And then at year end, SCO has a cutoff of June 15th for SCO legacy. So if you're posting something in Fiscal, then it'll appear in your Fiscal bank statement, but it won't appear in the CTTS bank statement until the second business day of the new fiscal year. For AR payments, if you're processing your payment in Fiscal after the 3 p.m. cutoff, there may be a timing delay of 1 day. And then for any interface errors, an example of that would be your INF AR 029 for the remittances. The transaction will post in Fiscal, but it will not appear in CTTS legacy until that error is kind of resolved. All right, so in addition to, as the team here at Fiscal is trying to make sure that your Fiscal bank statements in cash management module look like the CTTS bank statements, you'll now see all of these new types of transactions. They're not necessarily new because you see them on the CTTS, but they're new to Fiscal. And so this presentation is available on ServiceNow, and you can use this as a reference just to see what has been added. And I also like to say that the Fiscal bank statement report will now have transactions comparable to the SCO CTTS account statement report provided to you by SCO. And then you'll see today that we have a little bit of a demonstration for you, but you can, if you go to the enter bank statement page, this is where you'll see those new transaction types. And we know that some users who may be on the call today may or may not be familiar with how to do bank statement reconciliation in Fiscal. And then for that, we're going to refer you to the University of Fiscal training, the course CM112, which is called Reconciling Bank Statements. So that course should have some good content for you available if you need to get some understanding of the pages that you can do bank statement in Fiscal. Okay. Doesn't look like we're having any questions right now. So hopefully I'm not going too fast for you, but I'll see if I can slow down. For now, we have a demonstration for bank statements from our SEO subject matter expert, Hannah Tran. Welcome, Hannah.
Good morning. My name is Hannah Tran. For this demonstration, I will walk you through the step how to get to the bank register from Fiscal. And from there, I hope to show you some screenshot from the legacy and how you will relate certain type of transaction between SEO, CTTS, and Fiscal bank statement register going forward. We hope these changes will help you with the daily reconciliations. So the Fiscal bank register will be on Fiscal processes, Fiscal report, CM reports, and then bank statement registers. And then from here, if you never used this page before, you can add a run control. If you already used it in the past, then you have a run control saved. For the purpose of this demonstration, I actually used a test environment, so the information on here might not be the same like in productions. And the BU that I'm selecting for this demonstration is 0840. The bank ID will be the same because this would be the state bank ID. And then I want to run to see all reconciliation status, and the period that I'm select is for August. You can actually run daily or you can run for a period of your choice, depending on your business process. So this is the Fiscal bank statement register that we just ran for BU 0840 for the period of August 1st to August 31st, 2019. Like Corey mentioned, the beginning balance right now will match between Fiscal and Legacy. And please disregarding the beginning balance at this point. We will sync up the balances from October 2nd to October 4th. And by October 7th, you should see Fiscal and Legacy sync up on the beginning balance as of September 30th. If you scroll down on the bank register, you will see this is the bank code that we referenced on the previous slide. And this is the short description of the transaction type that you will see on your bank register. So I'm gonna direct to a couple of screenshots from Legacy, so you can see how you can reconcile this with the CTTS from the Legacy side. So one of the new transactions that Corey mentioned is the check adjustment. So currently, the screenshot that you're seeing right now is actually from Legacy test system. And this is the transaction that we key in today for a check adjustment. So on the bank statement, you will see it as a AT document, and it would be a prefix AT. In the future, effective October 1st, it will change to AC to differentiate between the deposit adjustment and the check adjustment. So that's going to be a change you would need to notice on your bank statements. And for some of you who are familiar with the journal entry generated from the legacy system, this is how the document will be referenced on the journal entry. And the prefix right now is $80 and then 7-digit number. In the future, this number will change to AC $ and 7-digit number. Again, this is only to differentiate between check adjustment and deposit adjustment. So now we're going to see the same transaction on the fiscal bank statement register going forward in the future. So you will see the bank code would be 639 for increased charge. And the reference, this is an update in fiscal. The reference that we will be referencing right now going to be the check in fiscal.
We have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What is the first date the balance is not matched?
So we're going to sync up September 30th, and we will get the balances from Legacy on October 2nd for the September 30th bank statements in Legacy. And that's when we're going to start configuration for all CTS bank balances in fiscal. So for by October 7th, the balance should match between fiscal and Legacy.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So the reference number right here is actually going to be a check number from fiscal that they're making the adjustment to. Versus in the past, if you look at the legacy system, you will see an AT document, so it's really hard to reference back with a record in fiscal. So that will be a change that you see in going forward. Okay. So so this is an increased charge. Similar to that, we also have decreased charge. And in the same thing in Legacy, you will see the document prefix will be AT, and then the journal entry will be $80 size. In the future, these will change to AC $ size, and on the bank statement, it will show up as AC, and then the sequence number. And then if you you will see the same information on fiscal size. And the bank code for the decrease would be 287. And then the reference number right here would be also the check number. Any questions? Okay. So another type of new transaction that you will see change it is the offset, like Corey mentioned previously. So this is only the CTS portion of the offset. So if you refer to Legacy, currently we refer it as TC46 in Legacy. And the document number right now will be 80 and then the sequence number on the Legacy side. So this is how you see it in Legacy. In the future, these deposits will be created in fiscal. And the transaction, you will see the deposit type O, and the bank deposit number, you will see we're referencing the Legacy document number. So this will help you to reconcile with Legacy. We will talk more about offset transaction later. But for the bank statements, so this is the current bank statement in Legacy. You will see offset transaction as AT and then the number amount that deposit into your CTS. In the future, you will see the same information in fiscal. And the location you will see is OFS. And the description will be IICP offsets.
Hi, we have a question.
Go ahead.
Can you please confirm if the recon status is based on what was reconciled in the semi-manual reconciliation process in fiscal?
So it will be by both. So most of the transaction, if they only have the system on the bank side, then it will come in as reconcile. But for transaction that have both system and bank size, then the department, the automated, if it's matching with the automated reconciliation, the batch process would change the status. However, for like the check adjustment, you might have to go through the semi-reconciliation to reconcile them. So because the original check amount will be different with what presented at the bank. And then for the, so you would have to mark the original amount, system amount, with the presented amount and the adjustment amount to reconcile that transaction.
Thank you.
question? Okay. Okay. And the deposit will not change for fiscal, so you will see the reference number right here is still going to be the deposit slip number going forward. But a change that you will see is on the remittances or TC47 on today. So going forward, because the information that we will use to create the bank statement, we will actually use from the AR module from fiscal. So the reference number that you will see right here would be the deposit ID dash and then the payment sequence. But currently in production, you will see a document related to legacy, which is only the last four number of your deposit ID and a dollar sign. So that will help you with your reconciliation. And this is one of the tools that we will hope that you're going to use to reconcile between fiscal and legacy, because we do aware of issue with the TC47. So in here, you might see transaction that you expected to post to legacy, but when you go to legacy, you will not see that transaction. So if you use this tool to do your daily reconciliation or reconciling them on a daily basis, you will be able to create a ticket and we can address them on a timely manner. Okay. For the check information, it should be as expected. You will see, you actually going to see the check number here on the check paid. And then there's no change on the off process. That's all I have for the demonstration for the bank registers. Any questions?
All right, thank you, Hannah. That was great. I hope you guys found that demonstration solid. I did. All right, so that covers the bank statement portion. We're now moving to the offset portion of what's going live next Tuesday. So I want to say that there is a process for offsets dated prior to October 1st on the SCOJE. So that's still today. And then for anything that is dated after October 1st and after, that's a separate kind of process. And so I wanted to first talk about these changes. These changes here are for the direct to your CTS deposit or offset deposits. And last time we had a town hall when we were talking about this upcoming release, we had some questions here. So I went and did some research with some of our SMEs, and I'm going to answer some of those questions in this process today. So once you receive your Treasury Trust Notice, your TC46 from SCO, you're going to create a standalone AR deposit. So you'll go to the Create Regular Deposit page in AR, and then you'll create your deposit type with deposit type O, or you create deposit with deposit type O, location OFS, and then you're going to use your CTTS document number from your TC46. So you guys saw a screenshot from the demonstration that looks like this. Those are created through the system, and then until we get to the point where they're created, you'll need to do that yourself. So the second step is you'll need to apply your payment to the standalone regular deposit to the uncleared collections CTS fund. That's the account is 2090100. The reason you need to do that is because when you first create your AR deposit, it's not going to interface. And so you need to make sure that's in your clearing account. And then you'll need to make sure you create your $0 deposit. And then you can apply it there to either the item, or you can move that cash from the uncleared collection to the ultimate fund. And the reason we do that is because that will interface to SCO for approval. And then once it's approved, it will be recorded in SCO Legacy. So we know that's an additional step, which is why this process for anything dated after October 1st is going to be automated for you to remove the additional workload. So we had some questions about this last time. We're still working on the overall deposit process with SCO, but we're hoping to get you there soon. Okay. So now I've talked to the process that you should be doing today for these offsets. And the offsets I'm talking about are lottery, unclaimed property, and personal income tax. We call that UPD and PIT. So for lottery, UPD, and PIT offsets, those are now going to be created in Fiscal automatically in the open status with the deposit type O and location OFS to identify it as an offset deposit. And then, like I said before, this applies to direct to CTS offset deposits. This does not apply for any warrant offset deposits. I just want to emphasize that. So I don't think I emphasized that well enough last time in the town hall, but I want to do that now because there should be no concern if you're getting your warrant. It's the same process you're doing today with your deposit. And then for those direct to CTS offset deposits, we have developed a new query for you, and so that will be available on October 1st for you to use. It's the ZZ TC46 offsets to identify your AR deposits for these offsets. And so you'll be able to, in our demonstration, we'll show you more about what that looks like. So these AR deposits, you can then, when they're created for you in open status, you can then apply your payments to them as you need to. I think we have a question now.
The question is, for ZDD, do we choose 0000 as bank account?
So I think the question is related to the process today. I'm going to go ahead and ask our SMEs.
No, you will actually use your CTS bank account.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lynette. We also have Lynette Andres, in addition to Hannah Trent, available with us today to answer questions. Okay. So the process is going to be for these non-warrant deposits. So that's direct to CTS. You're going to create the AR, or Fiscal is going to create the AR deposits for you. You'll have that document ID, so you'll still receive the reports you do today showing you that the offsets have been created for you. And then you'll have your document ID, which you can use to identify in the query, that AT, for example, AT0003082. That's just one example of them. There are other prefixes that will be used related to these offsets. And so then you'll use that query, ZZTC46 offsets, and you'll be able to do a reference there to the deposit ID. And then once you get your deposit ID, you can just go in there and apply the payments. So I wanted to just reemphasize that for any SCO offset JEs that are direct to CTS deposits dated prior to October 1st, you'll continue entering the catch-up transactions like I spoke about in the first slide. And then for those that are dated after October 1st, Fiscal will create those for you, and all you'll need to do is go ahead and close those. I wanted to just mention that you'll need to do that because they're going to be stuck in open status, typically before the end of the month, as your business process is, because you don't want to leave a bunch of open status deposits out there for yourself. You need to account for those regularly as part of your month-end close procedures. And then for those after October 1st, you'll no longer need to enter catch-up transactions, as we don't want you to double count them. Okay. And so we did create a training for this about running the query and then kind of linking up the reference to the deposit ID. So that's AR124. It's a topic in AR124 on the University of Fiscal. It's called the offset query and offset payments received. And so we're going to have a demonstration again related to this. And so hopefully we'll be able to give you some more insight into the process. Welcome up Hannah again. Thank you, Hannah.
So for this demonstration, I will walk you through the steps how to navigate in Fiscal to get to the query, offset query. So it will be under reporting tool. Query viewer. And you can type the name in here for you to see. And then from here, you can add it to your favorite if you don't want to search them every time you run this query. So that will be helpful. And this query can be run by demand. So if you receive a document from Legacy and you know the document ID, you can also key them in here. If you just want to know what for my BU from a date range, you can also do that. So again, this is a test environment. So the latest information that we have in here is for March. I will run for the month of March for BU 4260. So this will what this query providing you is the legacy document number. So this is the AT document that you will receive on your legacy side. The accounting date will be the same with the journal entry date from legacy, your BU. The deposit ID is the new deposit ID created by the interface, offset interface on behalf of your BU. So for the AP information, SEO will be the owner of the voucher, so they will look into these information. And then the journal entry on the right side, this is also something that SEO and franchise tax board will be looking at. For your department interest, it would just be the deposit BU and the deposit ID. So from here, we can also go to this deposit and look at how this deposit show up in Fiscal. So it's account receivable payments, online payments, regular deposit. So as Corey mentioned, the bank deposit slip will reference your legacy document number. The deposit type will be offset. The location will be OFS. And then it will come in as an open deposit. So from here, you can apply the payments. So if it's a direct journal payment, you can apply it from here. And if it's an item payment, you can also apply it to an item payment from here. Any questions from the audience? Okay. So if there's no question, I'll give it back to Corey.
Okay, thank you, Hannah. Looks like we do have one question.
Yeah, we had a few questions that just came in. The first one is, lottery, UPD, and PIT offsets are mentioned. What about CO, RP, and EDD?
Those are not part of this interface. We are not aware of those transactions, so we can take that back and get back to you.
Thank you. The next question we have is this report available to us now?
It will be available on October 1st.
And the last question is, for offset process, what fields from the ZZ TC46 query can department use referencing back to the AR items when making deposit payments?
So for that, you would have, there's no reference to the AR item, so you should have a report from FTP with the list of information and with the list of offset item that they offset on your behalf.
Thank you. Those are all the questions we have for now.
Okay. And then my understanding, Hannah, is that departments will still receive the report they received from FTB, same as today. And then Hannah just confirmed that that was correct. All right. Yeah, we heard some of your questions last time, and we'll do our best to answer them in the demonstrations today. So I know we had a few takeaways, but hopefully now that they're all answered, if you have any more questions, we'll be here for a few more minutes. I wanted to let you know we do have another town hall on Tuesday, October 1st. And so the content for that town hall will be the same. We're going to have the same demonstrations and same slides. If you have additional questions, that's another opportunity for us to answer those questions, especially since you'll actually have the ability to go in and see the report. There may not be any transactions available for you at that time. So if you have any additional questions beyond then, you can contact fiscal.cmo@fiscal.ca.gov, and then we can try to answer it, or if it's support related around the page not working right or something like that, you can also send a ticket or create a ticket with the FSC. So we're going to spend some time right now to go through some questions.
We have a question that just came in. What on the FTB report is there that we can use to apply the payments?
Not quite understand that question. So usually, normally on the offset, you are actually have an open AR items, and that's the reason why you receive this offset deposit. So the detail of the offset information should come from between your departments and FTB. What we're doing for this interface is we actually create the portion of the deposit that entitled by your agency due to the from the offset program. So so the AT documents have the date, and so you would have to work with FTB and your current report to apply the payments.
Thank you.
Yeah, just looking at what you'll receive from the state controller's office, you'll have your document ID with amounts and dates. You might need to do some cross-reference there between what's on the FTB report that you get today. And so there shouldn't be any change to that business process. It should be what you're doing today. And if you have any more questions, we'll do our best to answer them.
We have another question that just came in. The question is, does this new process only apply to the checks payments?
Which new process that you mentioned, the offset or the bank statements?
They don't specify, but maybe you could speak to both.
So for the bank statement, this is for all transactions that should have been show up on your CTTS today. We expect it to show up on your fiscal banks register after October 1st going forward. And then for the offset, this only applies for the portion of the TC46 that the State Controller Office performed today to move the money from the Special Deposit Fund to your CTS. So this only that's only that little business process of the offset. All the previous step in the offset process should not change.
Thank you. The next question is for the remittances part. Can you please go over the reference on the statement register?
We're going to have Hannah come up and give more information.
So going forward on the remittances, what you see right here is so it's 495 is similar is TC47 today outgoing money transfer to state fund, and then so you will see the reference number is 113-1. So 113 would be the deposit ID, and then the -1 would be your sequence. So if you have multiple sequence, you will see 113-2, 113-4 going forward. And then on the deposit itself, then you actually see the bank deposit slip number.
Thank you. We have another question. how will this affect offsets that are applied directly to the fund, to the A fund and not a CTS account?
That will not affect it. Yeah, that would be the same. So if you currently receive money directly to your fund or via warrant, that business process should remain the same. There's no change it.
Thank you.
Okay. We're going to stay live with this means until the questions stop trickling in, and then we'll let everyone know when we're going to go offline. But at least for the next few minutes, we'll be here. So if you have any questions, please ask. Thank you. All right, everybody. We're not getting any more questions. I just want to let everybody know that we are going to post this presentation to, we do have one more question, so appreciate that, but we're going to post this to our service now, and then we're going to send out the link to all the participants so that way you guys can have it for your records. And then we have one more question.
The first question is for the remittance part, does it also show the CRS document number, not just the reference number?
On the bank statements, currently, no. The answer is no. But we do working on different query in the future to provide you with that information, which is the CR dollar sign is the legacy document number that they're referring to.
Thank you. We have one more. Is there another process that can match the reference ID from fiscal deposit to legacy without checking?
So if this is related to the remittance advice, the TC47, we do working on a future enhancements query and report to help you matching between the deposit and the legacy document number. We are testing that functionality right now, and hopefully it's going to roll out soon.
We have a follow-up to that question. I believe they're referring to, they're asking how can we make our process a bit leaner, referring to K01 from legacy.
Can you repeat the question one more time?
Yeah, the question is a follow-up to the one that you just answered. They're asking, is there a way to make our process a bit leaner or quicker?
The only recommendation I have right now is reconcile it on a timely basis. So if you do it on a daily basis and you identify transaction that not interface to legacy, we can create a ticket. We will address this in a timely manner.
And then I'm not too sure what K01s are. So if we can get the more detailed name from the question asker.
Yeah. Can we have a little more detail and clarification for what K01 is or what you're referring to? We have another question in the meantime. How soon are we going to expect to have a query for the connection of CR and reference number?
So currently, I cannot give you a date for that, but we are working on it. We do have SEO, Fiscal do have access to that information right now. So if you create a ticket, we can help you with that. We are working on the securities to roll it out because it needs to be BU securities when we roll out to the departments, and that's what we're working on.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a final call for questions now. All right, doesn't look like we're going to get any more questions. If you do have questions, please email us at fiscal.cmo@fiscal.ca.gov, and then we'll be able to give you a response there, and then we'll try to share any type of questions asked or information from the questions that were asked in the next town hall. All right, thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day.